process look perhaps to legalization?
Contrary to what the politicians will believe, right? But to tell you the honest truth, I do not support legalization. I support decriminalization. The difference between legalization and decriminalization is legalization put it in the hands of a guy like this. Okay? Now, so you don't want the politicians to be taxing your weed, and they will tax it to the point to where you gotta go out there and commit crime just so you can buy a dime. So we don't need that. Decriminalization also reduces crime, because now we don't have drug dealers going out there to where they have to go to harder crime for them to make a living to support their families and friends. And to tell you the honest truth, a lot of drug dealers are parents. A lot of them are grandparents. They're not drug dealers. They're just people trying to support their family and make a living. And they'd rather go out there and give you something that you ask for or something that you want, rather than go out there and take a gun or break into your home and steal. So I support decriminalization and giving better opportunity, and let's give the drug dealers some employment and not jail. And if you give them employment, they'll choose the employment over selling the drugs. God bless.
Okay, next question answer. Come on up. Seeing that you are at Laurier and many girls choose to cover, how do you feel about Prime Minister Harper's views regarding the niqab? Should women have the right to choose what they wear in Canada? That was an awesome question. Go ahead, candidates.
Mr. Trudeau put it quite elegantly. He said men shouldn't be telling women what to wear, nor should the government. Period. The state has a legitimate interest in identification of a citizen from time to time. So, for instance, a driver's license, you have to have a legitimate identification. Passport, same thing. A citizenship ceremony. Once the identification of the citizen is complete in an accommodating manner, end of story. She, he, for that matter, can wear what they wish, how they wish, at the citizenship ceremony. The state has no business telling people what they should be wearing.
I'm very glad to see that you brought up the niqab debate, because it has taken over this election as an extremely emotional issue, and both Trudeau and Mulcair has taken a hard stance in saying that we do not have the right to tell women what they should or should not wear. And I find it completely offensive, the stance that the Conservative government has taken. If you go on their Facebook page, there is an extremely racist cartoon of a person in a ski mask and a woman in a niqab, and it says, you wouldn't let this person in your home without taking off their mask. Why would you let this person in your home? That type of racism does not belong in Canada. It does not belong in politics. And it's a Conservative tool to take away the conversations on the real issues that are happening. This morning you had a wonderful tribute to the missing and murdered women in this country. Let's talk about the issues and what we can do for those women, and not take away from discussions and emotional issues like the niqab that doesn't have any right to be, affects a small group of people. Thank you.
I have not addressed this issue because my priority is social issues, poverty, affordable housing, issues that affect you day by day. But I look at both sides of it, and I can understand someone wanting to wear the niqab. And if you wear it at home, I have no problem with it. If you wear it outside at a function where there is no threat or there is no safety issues, I have no problem with it. But when it comes an issue of public safety, then I have an issue with it. So I would leave the decision on whether or not you can wear the niqab. I would leave that up to law enforcement. And if there is a safety risk to the public, then I can understand saying that we cannot, right? And that's basically it. We have to be real, rational. This is Canada. And I can understand your religious beliefs from other countries. And I am for you having those religious beliefs. But we will not endanger the safety of anyone for the sake of that belief. So yes, I am for women choosing to wear it, but I am not for it being worn in public where it may create a safety concern for other members of the public. Well,
okay, next question, come on up.
Okay, so I've been hearing a lot of what Mr. Mulcair or what Mr. Trudeau are going to do, but I haven't been hearing a lot about what Ms. McKay or Ms. Castleman are going to do. So, what is the most pressing issue specifically for Scarborough-Guildwood, and if elected, what are you going to do about it?
Very good question, thank you. And just to let all of our question askers know, we only have time for one more question, so you guys can figure out who's going to ask that question and the rest of you can have a seat. Thank you. Go ahead, candidates.
An excellent question, and I suppose, let me just back up and say, it is the nature of the beast. I'm not a municipal councillor. I can't promise to fix this sidewalk or this road. However, what I can promise to do is when $20 billion is put on the table for infrastructure improvements, Scarborough-Guildwood as a member of the Liberal Trudeau caucus. Thank you.
Thank you.
generations and generations and generations have cried and screamed and have begged for a candidate like me. They have begged for a candidate that would be a total voice for the people. A candidate that would not let party influence or party ties come in the way of doing the right thing for the people. And the right thing is to feed the hungry, house the homeless, stop police abuse of authority, stop political abuse of authority, enforce our children's rights, our legal rights, and our Canadian Charter of Rights. That's why Kevin Clarke, your independent candidate, is the right man for the job. And the last thing I have to say is, kids, stay in school. Don't grow up to be a fool. You gotta stay in school. You got to stay in school so you don't grow up to be a fool.
Thank you so much.
God with us.
Thank you.
One of the reasons why I'm proud to be a New Democrat is there's been a lot of talk about track record and results here, right? But the NDP has the most elected women in Parliament in 2011, and we have the most female candidates in this election as well. That's an amazing feat. NDP has always stood up for women's rights. We've consistently stood up for the environment. And we're the only party as well who has a platform that's looking out for the generation, our generation, because we believe that the ecological, social, and economic debt should not be put on us. And I encourage you to be an informed voter in this election. Look at evidence-based articles and arguments, and if you don't know what I mean by that, ask your teachers. Because we have an opportunity to change the electorate, to change the establishment with the politics of hope and optimism. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you very much. Thank you again to Mr. Tenentis for allowing this meeting to take place. To Mr. Ms. Burnham and the stage crew for all of their incredible assistance today, and for all the candidates for taking time out of the final days of campaigning to attend.
And to all of you for attending and being so attentive. It's up to you to encourage everyone you know who's 18 or older to vote in this federal election, 2 weeks from today on Monday, October 19th.
This is also a reminder to vote in Laurier's student vote mock election next week. Thank you so much, everybody. Please go to your